Hey, Sister Wives fans. So yeah, Kody Brown bought a new McMansion with Robyn Brown, but no, he's not defying a court order. And no, he is not at risk of being sent to jail over it, despite some wild headlines that I'm seeing. I will tell you the truth of the matter and explain why the timing of this huge house probably ties into Christine Brown's lawsuit, but is not going to see him in an orange jumpsuit or anything crazy like that. Hey, please subscribe if you're not following us, and let's just dive into it. I'm sure you've seen the news. Kody and Robyn bought a $2.1 million big old house in Flagstaff. They bought it in the name of the trust they set up back in 2023. They put down $420,000 and they have a 30-year mortgage for $1.68 million. Assuming they have excellent credit, I don't know if they do, but assuming they do, the interest rate for someone with excellent credit right now is about 7%. Mortgage interest rates have really gone up in recent years. That means they're going to have a monthly mortgage payment on their nearly 8,000 square foot house of about $12,000 a month, plus taxes and insurance. And they still own that $890,000 house. The mortgage on that one was about $600,000. And the interest rate on that one likely was lower because at the time they got the mortgage in 2019, assuming excellent credit again, probably closer to about a 4% rate. So mortgage payment on that one, about $2,800 a month plus taxes and insurance. So we're looking at about $15,000 a month in combined mortgage payments plus taxes and insurance. Just to tell you what that is annualized, $180,000 a year in home payments. Just to put that in perspective. More than a lot of people earn in salary, more than most people earn in salary. The main house has about 5,600 square feet of living space, 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, with a bonus room, formal living room, and a theater/entertainment room, a 2,300 square foot guest house with another 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. The RV garage accounts for another 2,200 square feet of space, and there's a multi-car garage as well. It's kind of a cool looking house, a little too much wood for my taste, but that may just be standard for Arizona architecture. I've not spent a lot of time in Arizona homes. But the big deal in this story is people out there asserting that Kody could be headed to jail because he's violating court orders. He's flouting injunctions. Let's clear that up. I'm not Team Kody at any point in time, but he is doing none of these things. So just first off, Christine went to court. She filed a petition to get child support, but this is a multi-stage process. So the first thing she has to do is establish paternity because he is not on Truly Brown's birth certificate because she was born in Utah when they were cracking down on polygamists. So step 1, establish paternity. Step 2, she wants child support. Step 3, see if she can get back child support. Multi-stage. So once paternity is established, then they set up the child support, then the back support. Right now, none of that has been done. So right now, Kody owes no debt to Christine for Truly support. Not yet. I've been keeping track of their case on the Utah court system. So everything's still in process. There are no court orders. By the way, Kody has gone and gotten himself a lawyer. She has all 1-star reviews on AVO, which is the attorney review site. It's basically like the Yelp of lawyers. This lady's in her 70s, seems to be a pit bull. Even her own clients gave her 1-star ratings, by the way. So this injunction everybody's harping on, it's not something that Christine requested. She didn't go into court and go slap a gag order on him. Let me read you this, and I'm going to show it to you on the screen too. It's from the Utah court official website. When someone files a divorce, annulment, custody, support, or paternity case, the court automatically enters an injunction in the case. Just to reiterate, not an injunction Christine asked for. She didn't request a gag order. It's standard boilerplate. It's automatic. And they show the same language on the court page that's in Kody and Christine's case on the Utah court page. Nothing has been changed. It's verbatim. Not all of the language in the injunction even applies to their case, by the way, because it's just standard language for every single family court case in Utah. Stuff like how Kody and Christine can't cancel each other's utilities or auto insurance. So the next stuff that people are getting hysterical about is where they're saying Kody could go to jail because he bought the house. This is the section they're worked up about. If the petition, i.e. the case, involves the division of real estate, personal property, or debts, the parties may not transfer, encumber, conceal, or dispose of their property. So just a couple of things for clarity. The language should really read division of real estate, division of personal property, division of debts. It's about division of things that the people own together or things they owe together. That is not even what Christine's case is about. Her case is about child support. It's not about assets that she and Kody own together that they're fighting over, and it's not about debts that they own together and are trying to argue about who each will pay. Like when people get divorced and there's a bunch of credit card debt in a divorce, or, you know, if they're common law or whatever, you can say, okay, you're going to pay the Amex debt, you're going to pay the Visa debt. You know, you're going to pay this car loan, I'm going to pay this car loan. This stuff doesn't apply in their case, okay? And yes, in the state of Utah, child support is a debt, especially if there's arrearages or a lump sum. But in this case, that child support hasn't even been established yet by any court order. They're still working on getting the paternity established, all right? So, yes, as of now, you know, Kody can spend his money on whatever he wants. He can buy a house, and even after, you know, presuming everything's going to come back fine, I'm sure it will, and they're going to award Christine child support, he can keep using his money however he sees fit, as long as he makes those monthly child support payments in full and on time. Now, if the court decides that Kody owes back child support, and I think they should, and I think they will, they're probably going to say, okay, you owe this lump sum amount for X number of years. I mean, I think at a minimum, you know, they're probably going to say 3 years retroactive, back to when Christine left him in November 2021. So just for instance, they say, all right, Kody has to pay Christine $1,000 a month. That's 36 months from November 2021 to November 2024. 36 months times $1,000, $36,000. That would be a debt Kody owes her. And if he doesn't pay the debt, then the court could come after him, put a lien on the fancy house, you know, put a lien on his bank account, whatever. Oftentimes, though, the court will allow somebody to even make a payment plan when they set up a lump sum debt like that. So as of now, Kody hasn't violated anything because there's no court order saying he owes Christine anything. So there's no jail. He's not violated a court order. No. But the timing is interesting, in my opinion, because Kody and Robyn put down $420,000 of cash on the house. Now, I think it's a twofold reason. First of all, that $420K is exactly 20% of the $2.1 million asking price. If you know, I don't know if you know this, but if you put 20% down on the house, then you don't have to have private mortgage insurance, PMI, and it's costly and it can really drive up the price of your mortgage payment. And they're already paying $12,000 a month in a mortgage payment. If they had to have PMI on top of it, that would be sizable. It would be, I don't even know, like significantly more. So that's reason one. And reason two is maybe they were looking to get rid of a pile of cash they had sitting in case Christine knew the cash was sitting there so that she couldn't ask the judge in the case to give her a chunk of that, you know? And Janelle's been talking about getting a lawyer too, to get back some of her money from Coyote Pass and some of her money that she gave towards their $890,000 house, towards that down payment, which it was a sizable down payment. So I could definitely see them trying to, you know, shield some of the available cash they had sitting around by putting it into a house. But up until any any of the exes get some kind of court judgment, the money belongs to Kody and Robyn. Also, just to note that the Utah courts aren't going to have any sympathy for Kody having 2 mortgage payments to make when it comes to how they determine child support. The Utah courts base child supports on a couple of things. First, they're going to look at both the parents' income. So they'll see how much Christine earns and how much Kody earns, and then they're going to look at how much time Truly Brown spends with each parent, and 99% of the time she seems to be with Christine. So they look at their income and the cost to support her, and then Kody would obviously be responsible for a significant portion of that because she's mostly with Christine. So the court will generally also look at other children that are in the picture. Kody has 2 other minor children he's supporting, the little tenders of Robyn's, and I don't think they're going to be swayed by that sizable mortgage payment on the new McMansion, because that is over and above what would be considered a reasonable living standard for any average person. And I'll definitely keep you updated here on the status of Christine and Kody's lawsuit. And no, I'm not defending that big house purchase. It seems excessive considering they only have 2 smalls left at home to raise, and none of his grown children seem to be planning to visit. But at the same time, he's not violating court orders. He's not violating injunctions. There's no handcuffs coming his way, at least not for any of this. I don't know what else he's got going on in his life. But I will say one thing about this injunction. The third piece of it is kind of interesting. So Christine filed the lawsuit the day after season 19 debuted, and the day she filed it, that injunction automatically went into play, which is standard for every family court case. So there's one part of it that could come into play if this case doesn't settle by the time they start filming Sister Wives season 20, assuming that another season is coming. The very last part of it says, in the presence or hearing of the child, neither can demean or disparage the other party or say or do anything that would negatively affect the love and affection of the child for the other party. Given the terrible things that Kody has said about Christine this season, that section of the injunction could come into play if the case hasn't settled by the time they start filming. So what we're seeing now was all filmed like in 2023. So the injunction starts the day you file the case and it lasts until the final decree is entered. But all of this is an exception because it was all filmed entirely before the case was filed. So we do know, they filmed the confessional scenes after all the season film. So if they started filming season 20 before this case is settled, then Kody wouldn't be able to say things in the regular scenes about Christine that would be considered demeaning or disparaging, because you'd have to assume that she could hear them if she was around. It might be really tricky. Kody and Christine might be able to appeal to the court to get an exception for that part of the injunction if they both agreed to it, because that part of the injunction would affect their ability to earn a living, something like that, because it would be hard to imagine Kody and Christine able to film without talking about each other. I don't know if Kody could go an entire season of filming without smack talking Christine without his curls exploding. Come back soon for more updates on Sister Wives. Click subscribe if you're not following us.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.